Hey YouTube, morning. I've got some new camera equipment I'm going to try on a Memorial Park run here. So it's a 360 camera, and I'm going to kind of zoom in a little bit closer on the screen in here, and hopefully so you don't have to look at my hairy knees. The one downside is you might not have the steering wheel quite as visible, so you're going to have to look, doing an unprotected right here, so you're going to have to look at the little blue steering wheel here a little closer if you want to see exactly where the steering wheel is. But anyway, actually we got an unprotected right there in a pretty open traffic scenario, and a good interaction here with a bus that stopped, blinker going around nicely on a green light. So that was a really nice a start to this video. I'm going to play with a few different formats here. I know 360 video isn't a favorite of many. Some people say you can get dizzy with it, but what I'm going to try to use it for is like a multi-camera kind of a setup, so I can go wide angle or focus in, and maybe even got a lane change here, or I can even just kind of pan around as if I had multiple cameras on the top of the car. The camera is mounted on the top of the Model Y at the B-pillar location. So obviously it's higher than the B-pillar, but it's basically in the center of the top glass. And I'll work on some microphone and audio perhaps in the future. In any case, let's see what we see here. Coming up on these two intersections with the green. It's slowing down there a little bit. I think it was slowing until it saw those stoplights, like it does sometimes when it can't see what it's expecting based on map data. And then coming up at this intersection here, I'm going to disengage and turn to the right like I normally do. But while we're stopped here, I'm just going to kind of pan around a little bit, and maybe even take advantage of some of the 360 panning at this intersection. All right, disengaging, turning right. Re-engage. All right, we got a unprotected left with no arrow here. It's green. It should just proceed and roll through this one, no problem. A little bit wide there. Didn't quite hug that line, did it? Coming up on this double green with our interesting little intersection with a right green arrow that it has run in the past, but it doesn't look like we're going to get the green arrow now. We have a pedestrian in the lane there. I mean, sorry, a biker in the lane. So now it's a double red with no green arrow at the moment, so it should stop normally here. Hopefully it'll go a little further than the school sign. Hey, it went past, oh, and it stopped. So it looked like it was going to stop at the stop line a little further forward, but instead it did stop a little farther back. up on the double flashing yellows. A couple flashings here for stopping at traffic control, so it's interesting that every time it sees red, it stops. So it did a full stop at that yellow there, so I'm going to go ahead and mark it. I think that banner popped up every time it saw red. I'm not sure if that's the exact case or not. Maybe we can figure that out and post it. This one, it proceeded with the yellow normally. I have a biker on the other side of the road. And taking a right here at this red light. Blinkers on. It's on the left edge again. So kind of see here it's taking a right turn from the left edge of the line. All right. Coming up on the four-way stop. Doesn't look like there are any cars to interact with at this one, so we'll see if it rolls it or stops all the way. Went down to 4. It was not a bad stop, but it didn't go all the way to 0. Flashing yellow. A little bit of a slowdown, nothing too aggressive. Straight through the intersection. Have a truck up here that has got some flashing yellow lights on. It is on the other side of the yellow line. We have a lead car here, so it just needs to slow down and kind of create a path, and it does look like it's creating a decent path. Fine, no issues there. That was good. That car's pulled over, so now here's the reaccelerate. There's a stoplight up here it can't quite see yet. There, it's just coming into view. And that was a really good drive. I I don't think I had any disengagements that I needed to report, other than maybe that flashing yellow light where it stopped all the way. It was a good drive. Granted, it's early here, 8 a.m. on Sunday morning, so there was not a lot of traffic to deal with. I think that that has been pretty much my experience. Is traffic is the variable that we need to work on training the neural networks a little bit more with. All right, let me set it up for the return. All right, here we go. Left turn. Looking back a little bit to the left. Can't quite see yet. No traffic coming though, it's wide open. Very jerky joining that lane, so that was not very smooth. But it didn't do anything wrong. It just felt like it was going to kind of go into that curb a little bit, but it slowed down and stopped. It found its way. Needs just to be smoothed out a little bit. All right, at this intersection, we've got a few pedestrians around, but the light turned green, so I'll leave the screen forward. All right, so we're coming up on this interaction with this truck, but now, of course, now we've got a bus in the opposing lane that is coming through. I definitely need to yield here if it tries to go around. There's a bus on the other side that can't fit. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it was going to try to go that way, which is not appropriate. I think the bus is waiting on the other side. If I can go, I think I'm just going to drive manually around here. I'm going to go ahead and mark that. So it tried to create a path on the unprotected side of the road there, which isn't exactly what it should have done. I couldn't see that there was a gap, but I could sort of tell that that bus was far enough back that it looked like it was. So that was a pretty advanced maneuver there. Hey, yellow light there, no problem. Disengaged there just by friction. All right, it's red, needs to stop, and it did that just fine. All right, this turn, it's kind of creeped around these cars that are parked and cheated on the yellow line a little bit. Looks like it's doing it again to give them a nice berth. There was no oncoming traffic. That's exactly what I would have done. Pedestrian crossing the road up ahead, not quite marked yet, at least on the screen. Bit of a slowdown there. Oh, that's the stop. I didn't intend on turning there, so I'm going to go ahead and disengage and let it remap. Biker on the other side and re-engaging. All right, we got got two joggers on my side of the road now. See if it slows down or gives them any sort of a berth. They're not really in the way, but they're not exactly all the way over either. Nice, creating a path. A little bit of a deviation. That was nice and smooth. That was good. Okay, right turn here. Coming up to a stop sign. It's a two-way stop sign, so it needs to yield to the traffic to the left and to the right. Creeping back over after going around those cars. Two pedestrians ahead. I cannot see to the left yet. There's a bush there. Creeping forward, checking for visibility is the indication. I got the pedestrians crossing. It's creeping, just starting to get visibility and go. Again, a low traffic scenario without much to solve for. Which is it's good. The creeping behavior is nice. It's just the higher speed traffic that I'm still currently worried about. A couple cones here in the road. Didn't really have to create a path around those. Got another jogger coming up and around these cars. Gave a nice little path around him. It was good. Got a lead car here going through these flashers, so it seems like it is still flickering stopping for traffic control every time it thought it saw red there. Lots of dogs over there, but none of them visual. Oh, no, I think I did see one dog in there. Wasn't a lot of dogs, but I think I saw one. All right, coming around this school zone sign that's not lit up. It's always kind of jerked as it approached this stoplight. I think there's a little bit of a mapping issue here. Okay, it's slowing. Needs to get in this right lane. Looks like it's waiting for this car here. That was good behavior. It started to think about going around it, but it didn't. Now I do have an emergency vehicle on the other side coming. I don't need to necessarily pull over, but there's a good representation just showing it's a truck right now. All right, and turning right here. Okay, and this is approaching that unprotected left, crossing the 3-lane highway that I had a pretty bad result with the day that 9.2 launched. Let's see how this goes this morning. Got to create some paths around some parked vehicles. Looks like it's doing that nicely. Pedestrians crossing the road up ahead, not quite there. They're just coming into visualization. Needs to go around them. Go around them more, please. There we go, starting to deviate there. Okay, I disengaged because it wasn't quite giving them enough room. It was just a bump. All right, and coming up to the stop sign for this unprotected left. All right, right about here, my eyes cannot see the traffic. The camera at the B pillar is a little higher, so it may have a different vantage point. Okay, I can see now. We need to wait. There's a good visualization there. Okay, it's got a pretty good gap if it wants to go. Needs to wait now. There's another car coming. Okay. That car started going around me. I'll re-engage after the second car here. Okay, I'm re-engaged if it wants to try again. All right. Take over immediately. Stopping. Okay. Not exactly sure why it bailed on that, but it did not like it. go ahead and report that. I'll re-engage at this red light. I'm not sure. I mean, where it decided it, obviously re-engaging in the middle of a maneuver isn't optimal. There's no reason that Tesla has said we can't do that. It just sometimes the amount of information perhaps it has to absorb isn't all there. I think it saw the car that it tried to go in front of, so I think that it should have been able to see it just fine. Anyway, we'll keep working on those. Saw that car coming out. Not sure why it decelerated that much. I don't think it should have, unless it couldn't predict that car merging as staying in his lane. It was a full lane over. It's pretty aggressive slowdown there on a higher speed road. Alright, coming up on the last intersection. It's a red light at the moment. It should be probably going green maybe about the time I get there. Maybe not. So I guess it could end up being a protected left if we get the arrow. Okay, no, it's unprotected left with a green. Let's see if it decides to roll that. Okay, so it waited on that car. Big gap here, no problem. It can handle it just fine. Do have a pedestrian interaction here. They're in the middle of the road. Let's see how it does this. All right, created a nice path around them. Got another pedestrian interaction here. Okay, she got out of the road. Not too bad on those pedestrians. All right, so there we go. That was the Memorial Park Drive with the 360 cam view. Let me see if I can get this edited up, and give me some comments below if you like it, you hate it, or maybe how I can make it better. Have a great day.